What are the five main steps to landing your first interview as a Scrum Master? Hello, welcome to our Monday Leadership with Dr. Francis Mbunya, and welcome to the Scrum Chat Room. And today we want to unravel some of the mystery why many of you are unable to land your first interview. And after these five tips, I believe you should be able to identify what you need to close the gap. And I want you to like, subscribe, because every Monday we are bringing you some leadership tips that help you close the gap and you don't want to miss it. Now, I want to kind of give you the highlight before I go into the detail to tell you why these are some of the biggest reasons why many people, despite the fact that you might have done everything possible, it's still kind of a bit difficult for you to get a job. Now, number one tip I'm going to talk about today is becoming your resume. Some of you have resumes, but you are not your resume. I'm going to tell you why I say you have resume, but you're not your resume, which is the first gap why many people are unable to land an interview, despite the fact that you hire a resume writer, despite the fact that you actually have done your assignment. It's kind of frustrating, right? But we'll also look at how to be able to solve that problem. Now, the second thing I want to talk about today is going to be mastering public speaking. How do you respond to recruiter? How do you kind of sustain a conversation with an interviewer? We're going to get into that detail, into those details today. And also the third one, which is also a very big gap for many people. Become the professional everybody wants to hire. How do you become the professional everybody wants to hire? There's quite some high rate of competition in the Scrum market, not because it's saturated, but because we have a lot of people who are not qualified to be in this space. So obviously you want to stand out in such a point where when someone interviews you, like, you know what, this is what I've been looking for. Then the fourth point, which is more of a leveling up for people who want to get it easier done and now leveraging case study. And I'm going to also get you into details how you can do that. And the last point I'm going to talk about today, you need to become a lifelong learner. Some people stop like, you know what, I know everything already. So, and that's the reason why you are not moving ahead. So let's go ahead and get going for today. So the first one which I want to talk today is about becoming your resume. How can you become your resume? You have a very good resume, yes. Now, the first thing, if I'm an interviewer or if I'm a recruiter and I see a very outstanding resume, which a lot of people have, that the first thing I want to uh, actually understand is I want that person to be able to be as rich as what I see on the resume, right? So many recruiters might not really be technical, but then you will understand with me that if you listen, let's say you're not from a medical field, but if you listen to an expert talk about medical, you can like, oh, this person know exactly what they're saying. So they definitely don't have to be Scrum Masters, but then they can sustain from your voice when you talk, like, okay, this person is presenting about 10 to 15 years of leadership experience in their resume. Do they talk like a leader? Now, this person is saying, I've worked with M&T Bank, uh, uh, I've worked with Chase Bank. Do they talk as someone that have worked in an enterprise space? This is the first big gap why you get recruiter calls and they're like, okay, I'll get back to you. Okay, I'll get back to you. And sometimes our recruiters were like, okay, I'll circle back to you. Let me talk to other people. Now, when you get this kind of feedback, like, I'm going to circle back to you, let me talk to a couple of more people, it's an indication that there is a very big gap between what you present in writing as a resume and what you actually are communicating when you talk to recruiters. Now, how do you become your resume? You don't become your resume by writing a resume. You become your resume by the act of practicing and acting as what is there, which is more about practice, 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 and getting people who are in the space. Many people don't do this. They're like, oh, I've done some stuff. I think I'm ready. They haven't gotten anyone to assess them. They have not even called a friend who is a Scrum Master, like, okay, I need you to grant me an interview and give me feedback on how I do. No, people don't do that. And then they're expecting to go on the first interview and then just kind of land the job. It doesn't happen that way. Remember, becoming a Scrum Master is something which you don't really need a whole lot to do. It's a 16-hour certification, right? And then get on your resume, and people who don't even have certification even apply for Scrum Master. So most often when a recruiter's on the phone with you, it's like another person want to waste my time. So how do you create that impression? Very important. The second thing I want us to talk about is mastering the art of public speaking. This is where many people actually fail. Sometimes you get a recruiter call, it's like, hello, who is it? Who am I talking to? Okay. Oh, hello. Can I help you? Now, this is a tune that turn off everybody. This is a tune that turn off everybody. Hello, who is this? Hello, can I help you? You're not working from a company. If you're working from a company and you're a receptionist, like, hello, how can I help you? Because they're calling you business, right? And you're open to interviewing. Now you need to understand that the people who want you, that want to hire you, and need to display a very high level of professionality. So when you pick up a call, you're not supposed to say, hello, who is this? How can I help you? It's like, hello, this is Francis talking. Who do I have a pleasure of talking to today? Right. Now, that is an open up that helps the person receptive. Right. That's an open up. I have a reception, happy to be receptive. You need to open up a space. And then the second thing about public speaking I've seen to many people is when they ask you a question, you talk for 5 minutes. That tenth of everybody. Oh, we're looking for a Scrum Master. Have you ever worked for a Scrum Master? Oh, yes, 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 I've worked for a Scrum Master. I facilitate events. I remove impediment with my last opportunity. You have answered the question is, have you ever worked as a Scrum Master? And now you go start narrating your story for the next 5 minutes. And the person's like, you know what? This is the kind of people we don't want to. They're simple question. Have you ever worked with a Scrum Master? Which company have you worked with? You need to be able to speak to question the way they come to you. Right. Now, lack of the inability to kind of keep your responses short just tell us that you're not a professional. So public speaking is very important, and all of this you can learn them. Right. The third one is be the professional everybody wants to hire. This is where a lot of people miss it. There's very simple trick that help you to become a professional, which many people don't miss it. And this sometimes you need to get into coaching. You need to invest in yourself, build yourself up. I've had people who work with me and they get to an interview like, you know what, this is the person we've been looking for. We have to stop other interview. Now you go for an interview and after 30 minutes they call you and make you an offer. Now this is not normal because they've seen something that if I don't go after this person, we had one of a student and they actually had to go in for an in-person interview. And they said, look, we have interviewed 10 people and nobody makes sense. So when we actually had to speak, we're like, we need this person to come on site. If they can still replicate what they displayed when we had them on the phone, we hired them immediately. And when they came in and they were able to still speak the same, within 30 minutes, they gave them an offer. Now, this is the kind of becoming the professional. It takes practice. It's not, and when I spoke to this person, tell me what actually make you stood out, what make you kind of do it. He said, you know what? I had to become that professional. Even my 4 years old understand Scrum. Why? Because I had to make it part of my business. Many of you don't even are not at that level, right? You basically just trying and maybe talking to one Scrum Master and maybe doing one stuff. No, it needs to be in your blood. It needs to be in your blood. Now, becoming a professional is also a lot of public speaking. One of the things a lot of people miss is how to say it. How to say it. Right. I can say, okay, can you tell me the difference between definition of done and definition of ready? Now you go and say, oh, definition of done is when something is done. And when we say something is done, it simply means that the acceptance criteria. And now They're looking at you like, okay, this is someone who's coming to interact with professionals. And even to put their sentences together is above them. You need to master the art of professionality. There is a way in which you communicate information. There is a step one, there's a step two, there's a step three. There's a way in which you respond to when you miss your word and you feel like, oh, I wasn't supposed to say this. How do you recorrect yourself? There's a way in which you engage people. Right. Most often you don't have to say, oh, thank you for that question. Oh, thank you for that question. Then you go straight to the answer. You know what? I can say, oh, that's a very good question. I remember one of the first time I came into contact with the difference between definition of done and definition of ready is when I had that opportunity to facilitate a backlog refinement. And my team was confused about the done and ready, and I had to take time to show them. Now, you need to kind of become that professional. This is an answer people don't get regularly, right? And then now at this point, for those who actually you already listening to me, right? You need coaching, you need help. You can reach out, and we're gonna help you close the gap. These are the different aspects. I know a lot of people are within community where we do question and answer. We show you a couple of stuff on Jira. Interviewing these days is beyond question and answer. Interview these days is beyond just prepping you to know how to answer, just prepping you to know a common to. It need to prep you to become a master, in not just interviewing, a master in public speaking and all of that. Then the fourth one we want to talk about today is leveraging case study. Right. This is the most powerful aspect of interviewing, leveraging case study. All right. Can you tell me a time where you resolve a conflict? This is a time where you need to like, okay, I remember the time I worked with P and P, and I had a situation between XYZ. And this is what happened. You bring a scenario that talk into the problem. Now, you cannot do this if you have not mastered the art of case studying and kind of planning your environment, kind of making sure that you understand who is who and how to be able to talk into that. Then all you will say here is that, oh yeah, I know in a case of conflict, I'm going to talk to the two party, and then I make sure that you realize you will not be concrete in the way that you present yourself. And the last one, which I want to talk about today, which I cannot overemphasize on that, many people stop learning. They feel like, oh, you know what, I've invested too much, I don't want to invest again. And for a lot of people, the way they look at learning, they are their own stumbling block. And I was talking to someone, and they're like, oh, how are you going to guarantee that your community will give me a job? I said, we don't guarantee that our community will give you a job. Like, okay, that means uh, I'm not going to invest in your community. So fine, which means you don't know what you need. Now, one thing you need to understand about learning, it's not about what people promise. When people promise you that they will do this, you get frustrated because you're expecting them to deliver. For you to do your assessment to know who is going to help you, you come with questioning. I'm looking for this. How is your community structure to handle this? I'm looking for this. How is your community structure? This is what helps you to do an evaluation. If you come to me like, how are you going to help me to get a job? Like, okay, look, I'll do A, B, C, D, and you'll get a job the next day. What happened? It's like, oh, I'm excited. And then you invest in my community and you don't see that coming. Now, for every community, it doesn't matter what they are, people don't give you job. They give you knowledge and the tools, and then you make the job out of the knowledge and the tool. So for many people, the reason why you cannot even start because you don't believe in yourself, that you don't even know what you want. The first thing, you don't know what you want. The second thing, you don't believe that if you have this knowledge available to you, it's going to help you close the gap. So now you keep on investing so much in information, or you keep on investing so much in people who are promising and not delivering, and very soon you get frustrated. But then one of the reasons we come to kind of do these videos and show you what is the gap and how to close the gap is because we want to point you towards the right direction. It's not for everybody, so people will know what they want. And if you that one person will know what you want, You can check out on the description, go to our website, everything that you need is actually there to help you close the gap, right? It's there. So very possible. But then it's always good to come on a Monday like this and share some of the tips that can help you close the gap in the job market. And I will see you in my next video. Do have a great week and see you. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and also drop a comment. And for those who you're looking forward to build a solid career as a Scrum Master, you're not yet certified, reach out. We have certification training coming up every 2 weeks, PO training, ROT training, Sales Scrum Master training, what else? We can always help you.